Hello, guys. Hope you're doing well. This is TJ, and you're listening to Beyond the Ring podcast. And welcome to my Impact Wrestling review, the go home show before Slammiversary pay per view, which is on Saturday, July 17th, I guess. Yeah. So, again, this show was not felt like a go home show, but still, it was. A decent show, I would say. It didn't had so much of thing. Already, they had built up all the things. They all set all cards. We had some, momentum going matches, but didn't felt like kind of they were building kind of momentum. But because it didn't felt like a kind of add-on or something into the matches, and especially we didn't have Kenny Omega or Sami Callihan kind of face off or something. That's a traditional thing that should do because it's so. The biggest pay per view of Impact's annual pay per view, so they should have done that. But still, it is what it is. And we get to this review then. The first we saw the recap of Callahan and Omega stuff from a couple of weeks then, and how he got the victory, how this match actually got upon. And we get into the first match, right into the action, where the match first was tag team match, Tenel Dashwood and Caleb versus Jordan Grace and Rachel Ellering. So I wasn't into this match. I'm not even into this storyline because this they are doing this just dragging the storyline so much. Only thing I'm interested is Jordan Grace is she's looking like a heelish. I don't know, she's gonna turn or something. Maybe Tenil Dashwood. That would be interesting to see. That's the only thing I want. And but still, this match, nothing special or something. It was the basic match that Impact does, and the shenanigans by the Tenel and Caleb. And Caleb did show some good wrestling, good power moves on Rachel Ellering and Tenil Dash. Rachel Ellering and Jordan Grace. And Jordan Grace. In the end, we saw in the end of the match, we saw Grace hits a suicide dive onto Caleb, but back into the ring. Caleb gets a small package for two, then a snap out slam for another near fall, and Grace fights both the Caleb and Tenel Dashwood. Then Ellering comes in and hit and assisted Catonic. Then Grace spins Caleb. So that was it. Rachel Ellering and Jordan Grace got the victory. Nothing, an average match, I would say. And we get to the next segment where Scott D'Amore is with Gianna Perozzo. This was an interesting segment where they did actually I actually name drop a lot of names actually, maybe coming kind of in Slammiversary. You don't know. And Demore, Gianna Perozzo and Demore is kind of in a contract situation signing where Scott Demore is actually offering a contract where Diana Purrazzo should sign that, because if she signs that, she could get the rematch in the after maybe if she loses the championship or something. But Diana Purrazzo is not okay with that, because if she don't know whose opponent is, and she actually demands respect that she's a two-time knockout champion and whatnot. She rambles around all the things that she has accomplished. So she don't want to get this kind of the behavior to her actually. So that actually Demore said, you are the virtuosa, you can do it. And we don't know. And Demore actually said that maybe it's kind of a hot mess. He says, and he also has said the iconics kind of thing word. And then he actually also name dropped the band music that Mickey James did back in 2013. And he ended it with Nove Jose, which isn't gonna happen. And we then have commentary runs down the Slammiversary card for us, and back to the ring. And before that, we also saw Tommy Dreamer then just looking on her and says, I don't know about that as well. So anyways, this was a good promo. They kind of spilled beans, kind of maybe who's coming. That was kind of uh, kind of a who's gonna win, a kind of a drama filled promo, I would say that. But still, it was there, I would say. And second match, we got to another tag team situation, the championship, knockout tag team championship coming. Sam Nusri, K-Rog and Tasha Steelz defending against Havoc and Rosemary. They are the number one contenders. So some kind of build up there. So Tasha Steelz goes up against Havoc. Just a kind of there, another average match. I would say that. In the end, we saw Steels actually slips out of a tombstone pile driver and hits a pump kick, and Havoc catches a jumping Steels and kills her with tombstone pile driver to get the victory. Havoc won, and I am very confirmed that Havoc and Rosemary are going to be the new tag team knockouts tag team champion, and they are being uh, for many weeks right now. I mean, Tasha Steelz and Kerogan had done a good job by holding that Knockouts Tag Team Championship, but still, I see that title change. And Steelz and played the size difference well, and Havoc knows how to play a monster. That was this match, and high package for W Morrissey airs, and that was the segment. We get to the back to the show, and Kimberly is facing the back while Susan comes out of room, and Susan says everything went exactly to the plan. And Kimber asks about Father James Mitchell, but apparently Soo Young won't be coming back as as Susan says that I have known about all the plan that you were laying out, and Susan actually kind of Soo Young actually Father Mitchell actually summoned the Soo Young's kind of that character into Susan, I think so. So Susan then drags Kimber into the room with a scream. I don't know what the hell is happening. Again, we get to a squash match. Steve Macklin, we've been seeing many weeks. Steve Macklin just getting momentum. I mean, it's not bad to see Steve Macklin's squash matches. It's pretty rough and it's pretty fun to watch as well. So again, a squash as with against a Carl Hero guy, and he actually verbally abuses him first and then hits a clothesline and elbows him onto the mat and hits the Michinoku driver and gets the victory. Small little squash there, and Macklin gets a mic after the match and he says the worst thing you can do is give him time because all he does is prepare and wait. He isn't ready for that. I mean, when I see him, I mean, he's a very good Impact Championship material. I would think so. I mean, he has that. He's that physical figure, and he has that that young kind of look, and I'm seeing that he's a very good talent that the Impact can pull trigger on going forward for that Impact Championship, World Championship. Again, that was it, and he's done waiting, he says, and we get to the next segment where in the back Rosemary and Havoc consult with Crazy Steve and company, and Rosemary plays kind of a chorus for a bit, and they says they need Havoc to fully join the group. Kind of a cringe kind of promo there, and they just want being capable of bonding to. And James Mitchell comes up who apologizes for being late, but he barely escaped the prior segment. But he's here and wants to get the show on the road. Havoc says she's ready, and they head out, which leads to a commercial break. And just there, they were discussing about their win actually. So that was it. Nothing to say about. And we get to the fourth match, which was 8-man tag team match before going to the X division that X matchup. So yeah, Ace Austin, Shera, Rohit Raju, and Madman Fulton versus Josh Alexander, Trey Miguel, Chris Bay, and Pete Williams. This was a fun match. Multi-man matches are fun to watch in Impact Wrestling, so this was fun as well. I would say that fun match. Lots of spots here and there continuously, so that was fun to watch. So that made this show pretty much like the wrestling quality was. I mean. It was decent enough to drag upon the whole show, so that was there. And in the end, we saw Ace actually a series of offense moves, but Trey counters a fold attempt with a combination. Shera's turn for his finisher, a choke breaker to Trey, but Bay schoolboys him and gets the victory. And post match, it was interesting with the faces were standing, but after they turned, Josh Alexander turned. He was looking on. I think he was looking on. He was looking on. I think so. Yeah, I don't know. Yeah, it was Chris Bay actually. No, it was Trey Miguel actually, and Trey Miguel he was looking on, and he actually attacked. I mean, Ace, the Bay, Chris Bay actually attacked Josh Alexander from the back by the chair, and he runs about. So that's a story that they are not with each other, and they are they are going for the opportunity. That's the X Division Championship, and every man for himself, and that's a thing that they're going to do, and that's it. It ends there. And post match, post I mean in the, after that segment, we got Brian Myers walks up to Hernandez and he wants to recruit Hernandez assistance against Jake something, but Hernandez isn't interested. So Myers just see someone else off camera who he offers the same thing, but we cut to commercial before we see who it is or what the answer might be. And back from the break, we are back at the ring. Brian Myers head to the ring and gets a mic. He says his duty to be a man of his word and invite Jake something out to the ring, and he kind of, they said they're most professional kind of thing, kind of, and he Myers calls a Jake professional, but that doesn't mean he's a star or whatever he will be. Just kind of mocking them, and he mocks the play, and they have the he mocks as well, but because he says that you can, your name suggests that you Jake something, like you can be something in the future. That's not that's not inevitable kind of thing. Cardano hits Unprettier on Myers, but here's Tenil Dash shoot out of nowhere with no kind of involvement in the storyline. She comes up and low blow to Myers, a Storm Cardona, and then pose, and we know where this is going, and that's Cardona talks in the back. He wanted to make sure Myers was a man of his word, so that's an interesting situation for Scott Dumont. Scott Dumont said that here it is what it would be like Brian Myers and Tenil Dash shoot versus Matt Cardona, and if you can make it up like a female partner. And Cardona says that I know that who I can be. I mean, bring upon, and Slam will be a hot mess. Scott Demore says, and hot mess is said plenty of times, and that kind of indicates more than enough Chelsea Green. And yeah, so again, she haven't signed with the Ring of Honor. I think she had done with the 90-day complete clause, but she haven't signed kind of something that the Ring of Honor, the Maryland State Athletic Commission, that they are not allowing or something. I don't think so. That's a storyline because they had a report that as well she's not cleared or something there, but still she's not signed, so she's kind of a free agent. She can work it one match or something. Yeah. And again, we get to the next match, Moose versus Hernandez. Again, a squash match. Moose just to have the momentum. I don't know why they did it with Hernandez. I mean, there's nothing loss for Hernandez, so they did it whatever it is, and so he hits a spear from Moose and destroys him, and squash match. And Moose wants to destroy the ankle of Hernandez, but Sabin's music hits and Moose and him brawl, and Sabin hits a couple of dragon screw leg whips, gets the chair and traps that into the leg, but Moose runs away, and that was the final build up to the Moose Sabin matchup. I mean, Moose is just lost, man. How he was actually in the main event situation is totally lost right now in this rivalry. I mean, Chris Sabin is a very good wrestler. He's very good professional. I mean, professional athlete. I mean, he's a very good storyteller as well. I mean, wrestling. But the way they actually tilted around this after so much of building towards Kenny Omega's championship. I mean, I don't. I'm not saying that he didn't get the victory, but he should have involved in this thing, maybe kind of in a special kind of referee or something. I mean, keep into the championship situation or something, that would have been good, but it is what it is. I mean, I'm not very interested in seeing Moose Chris Sabin, but let's see how it would be. And back to the broadcast and commentary, and they sells the Kenny Omega, Sami Callihan, which at this point not very exciting or something, but still it is a pretty good match. I doubt that Sami Callihan would be getting the victory. Maybe they can shock us because yeah, so for some pay-per-view Kenny Omega is getting the victory. Yeah, the God thing is going on with Kenny Omega and all, the Forbidden Door and all. I do think so. Maybe Sami Callihan, they put on Sami Callihan, and yeah, and yeah, and we head to the ring where Doc Gallows makes his entrance for a main event. This is a fatal four-way match. Joe Doring versus Falaba, Willie Mack, Doc Gallows, Carl Anderson, because they all are going for the tag team championship, the men's tag team championship. So the team members are going up against in a fatal four-way situation. It was a average match again, nothing to say about. And interesting part it was that Gallows actually turned Doring actually turns on Gallows, and he actually drives him to the ring post, and that actually creates a brawl type of thing between them. And Mac dives at Ba, but is caught in a Samoan drop. Doring in the ring hits a running crossbody to Ba, hits a short arm clothesline. Quick after that, victory. I mean, I don't know, I didn't know that a short arm clothesline gets a victory for Joe Doring, but still, it is what it is. I mean, uh, kind of a match there, just there. I would say this show was a average show. I would say average to decent show. Sometimes in action, that actually led by the some kind of decent wrestling that was there, so that I have actually hooked come kind of some kind of able to watch me through this show. But still, average show to the go home show didn't felt like that. And now we are speaking about this Impact Wrestling review. Why don't we review preview the and prediction the Slammiversary card. So the Slammiversary card of 2021 looks like this. And that is Eddie Edwards. Eddie Edwards first match is Eddie Edwards versus W Morrissey, and I don't know what story is going on between them. I think so. W. Morrissey is gonna get the victory here. He's being building momentum, being built up momentum for that Impact Championship. So I do think so. W. Morrissey gets a victory here, and we get to the next match: Chris Sabin versus Moose, and Moose, Chris Sabin. I would say Moose getting the victory, and Moose, W. Morrissey, Steve Macklin, and these three, some guys I'm kind of thinking that maybe they would be the next in line for the challenge for the Impact World Championship. So I expect that Moose getting the victory here. Chris Sabin don't need that. I mean, yeah. But still, if the story goes, if you see that Chris Sabin should get the victory because he actually injured his knee back in Under Siege. So maybe they can go with Chris Sabin as well. So yeah, that it is what it is. Chris Sabin could get the victory here. So I'm going with the face here. Chris Sabin gets a victory here. So then we get to the tag team match: Brian Myers and Tanner Dash versus Matt Cardona, and a mystery partner. I expect Chelsea Green. So I surely expect if it's Chelsea Green. I mean, if it's anyone else, but still, I would say that Matt Cardona and the mystery partner would be getting the victory here. And yeah, I'm no doubt about that. And we get to the knockouts tag team titles, and coming to the championship pictures, and we are seeing Fire and Flavor defending their knockouts tag team title against Rosemary and Havoc. And I do see a title change here because Fire and Flavor, they have been defending the titles every pay-per-view, and they have been winning each and every match. I mean, mostly 90% of the match in weekly shows and pay-per-views as well. So I do expect a loss here by Fire and Flavor. They had a loss before when Rachel Ellering and Jordan Grace had some small amount of rain there. But I do expect Rosemary and Havoc get the victory. But that's a booking that I think so Impact would be going. But I want Fire and Flavor to retain this championship because I don't want Rosemary and Havoc to these creepy guys holding to that Impact Knockouts tag team title. I mean, Fire and Flavor, they are fun. I mean, they are somewhat fun to watch. I would say that somewhat comedic and kind of sometimes and kind of heelish, very good heelish character they are playing out. So my prediction is, I want Fire and Flavor to win, but. We could see Rosemary and Havoc dominating as well. They both are knockouts championship winners in past. So we can expect Rosemary and Havoc actually getting the victory here, becoming the knockouts tag team title, and they can have another rematch or something. I mean, there's no uh, you can do endless of rematches in wrestling. And we get to the world tag team title situation, and we have Violent by Design versus Rich Swann and Willie Mack versus TJP and Falaba versus the Odd Pairing Man versus the Good Brothers. So I expect that I want that title to go on to Good Brothers. I mean, the Elite have the belts all over. I mean, if you see all AEW as well, Young Bucks have the belt, Kenny Omegas have the belt. So I expect that Good Brothers should have that belt as well. Kyle Anderson didn't get the victory against John Moxley last last night in Fighter Fest. So and but still he had a lot of good performance, so I do expect that they should have that momentum going forward as the best tag team they were in the New Japan. So I expect that Good Brothers getting the victory kind of a title change. But I do see Violent by Design retaining as well, because they have not been very long as well getting the tag team championship. They actually won the championship by that cash in that Joe Doring, yeah, did actually, yeah. So I think so. Maybe they would be retaining, but I want Good Brothers to win. So I'm going with the prediction of Good Brothers getting the victory here. Yeah. So Good Brothers is my prediction. And Knockouts title and Diana Purrazzo versus a mystery opponent. Again, a mystery thing. I mean, so much mystery. I mean, two mystery thing. So Diana Purrazzo mystery opponent. I mean, there's so much of thing. I mean, it could be Chelsea Green. I mean, I don't know if she would be doing a double duty. Maybe Iconics, Peyton Royce, or yeah, Iconics members. Uh, well, let's see who it is. We cannot predict anything in this match, because yeah. So Diana Perazzo, she's being 1 year as a champion, because they actually show Diana Perazzo's this vignette. I mean, the whole segment where how she actually got the victory in last year's Slammiversary when she defeated yeah, Jordan Grace. Yeah, I think so. Yeah. So again, I think so that Dana Purrazzo should retain the championship. I mean, I cannot predict here, because I am not known about. We are not known about the opponent as well, actually. So I expect that Diana Purrazzo could be retaining, but still we could also see Shocker as well. So I'm going with Shocker then. Then Shocker would be the mystery opponent, would be getting the victory. So my final prediction is that. And X Division title, Ultimate X match, X Division title is on the line. Josh Alexander going up against Ace Austin, Rohit Raju, Trey McCall, PT Williams, Chris Bay. This match I'm very looking forward to. I mean, the Ultimate X match that's been gone over for so many long time right now. So that's coming back. So that's fun, and the fans is going to be there. The crowd reaction is the main point of this match. So that's fun. That's going to be fun to watch. And X Division is always very fun to watch, and one of the pivotal kind of good thing that Impact does. So anything, I mean, I would say that maybe Josh Alexander could be retaining the champion, but I don't see that, because Josh Alexander has been the champion ever since Ethan Page got to the AEW. So I think so a title change, maybe I could see a title change. So who would be the title change gonna be? So I mean, Rohit Raju, I have been saying that in most of the pay-per-view that he deserves that X Division champion one more time. He's a very good performer, and he can be a very good heel as well. So I don't see Chris Bay, PT Williams want to be getting the victory. Even Trey Miguel as well. So again, that could be like trimming down to three guys: Josh Alexander, Ace Austin, Rohit Raju. So Josh Alexander is already the champion. So then Ace Austin and Rohit Raju. So maybe they could go with Ace Austin. Yeah, Ace Austin. He actually lost that opportunity for the X Division champion, he's been going nowhere. He's just with that Madman Fulton going up the tag team situation, some X Division match. Then they got into the division. Then so we could see Ace Austin getting the victory here. So that could be good as well. So I'm going with Ace Austin getting the X Division champion, or maybe in the forward Rohit Raju getting the victory. I mean, challenging for the X Division title. So that's what I want to see. So we get to the main event and world title match, and this is not like a normal now world title match. This is a no DQ match. They actually made it this week's Impact show that this is going to be a no DQ disqualification match, as Sami Callihan demanded that. So he actually mocked Dave Meltzer as well, because he's just not not going to be a 6 star 7 star match, because this is going to be a quick, and this is going to be, I'm kind of this is going to be a destroying kind of match, they're saying, anything goes kind of match. So it's a no DQ. So Sami Callihan is accustomed to that kind of matchup. He's been done that, so that's an advantage for Sami Callihan again. So, but that's an advantage for Sami Callihan as well, if you see, because you have all the thing. I mean, the Good Brothers, even though, I mean, you can say Young Bucks or something coming around to help Kenny Omega, Don Callis. He's he have that disadvantage as well. So I mean, it could be good to see if against all odds Sami Callihan get that victory. Kind of how crowd reacts. Let's see. I mean, I'm uh, I'm excited to see if Kenny Omega actually if loses this title. That's the question, and that's the question that this match is about. I know that I'm not excited about the in-ring match and all. I'm actually intrigued about the result. So I am going with for a safety. I would go with Kenny Omega retaining the championship, and the odds are against Sami Callihan. The whole thing, attack and all, would be coming for Sami Callihan. So I am going with Kenny Omega retaining the championship, but I do have back in the mind maybe Sami Callihan get the victory. So I could see, I mean, the way they build up Sami Callihan as a challenger in this month actually. Yeah, so they have worked pretty decently, I would say, the build up. I would say that this is gonna be Kenny Omega retaining the championship in this big pay-per-view. So I'm going with Kenny Omega. So what's your predictions for this Slammiversary pay-per-view? I want to know about, and please put it out in the comment section below, and I will read that. I will express my opinions as well. I mean, how's your opinion and all? I would be discussing. I mean, I would like to know about that in short. So, anyways, guys, I hope you like this prediction and Impact Wrestling episodes review. Anyways, please make sure to like this video, share it with your friends, and subscribe to my channel for more wrestling content and reviews and predictions like this. So, tomorrow I'm gonna be coming up with Money in the Bank predictions right after the SmackDown show. So please stay tuned for that. Very fun weekend for wrestling, very busy weekend for wrestling. Slammiversary coming up, SmackDown tomorrow. Yeah, there's Money in the Bank coming up. I mean, so much thing. Last week as well was very busy. We had Best in the World and all. Yeah, but yeah, it is what it is, and it's going to be fun. The crowd's coming back in each and every promotions. So well, the whole in all, I would say the Slammiversary card looks, I mean, pretty good in ring. Actually, the wrestling and all quality are good in Impact standard always. So I do expect a good pay-per-view this Slammiversary. Even though there are some fair share of negative points as well, forgetting about that, I would say that. So I want to know about your predictions as well about whole the Slammiversary card, and would you expect do you expect that Kenny Omega is going to lose the championship against Sami Callihan? I want to know that, particularly I want to know that. So please put it on the comment section below, and see you guys in the next one, guys. Until then, be safe, stay energetic, peace.